Dear National College Athletic Association, hi, you don't know me, but my name is Lauren Fernandez. I'm not a college athlete, but my twin brother is. I've contemplated writing you this letter for a while because this really belongs to Evan. This is his story. And you may know him. He's a baseball player at a D1 university, top of his class, a great guy. And maybe it isn't my place to write this letter, but I just can't shake it. My brother and I are very close. Since the day we were born just 9 minutes apart, his burdens have become my burdens and his truth has been so deeply intertwined with mine. But what I've realized is he may not be able to speak up to you for fear of losing his chance at a starting position. But I have no position to lose. I have nothing at all to lose, actually. But you do. My brother would kill himself for baseball, and he almost did. And that's the thing about student athletes. They'll do anything for their sport. Why else would they sacrifice a normal life for hours upon hours of practices and lifts and games? And that's the thing about it. It's just a game. But to them it's not. To them it's worth sacrificing everything for. Evan's coaches called for a conditioning test just a few days back from winter break. This is the workout that almost killed my brother. The players had just 15 minutes to finish 9 grueling exercises, each with a sprint the length of a football field in between. If you didn't finish in 15 minutes, you'd have to do it again the next week. The coaches called it the Crusher. The players called it 9 innings of hell. I'm not sure which name is worse, but both are accurate. There was no recovery time, no rest, no oxygen to the brain, just 15 minutes of pushing the body past its limits. And of course, Evan did. Evan was healthy. He was leading the group. It wasn't until the last exercise, a 200-yard weighted sled push, that his vision and hearing started to go, and then his legs began to give out. And over again, he fell to the ground and dragged his failing body back up. His team circled around him and screamed for him to push, to cross the finish line, and he did, 2 minutes too late. And as his body went into hypovolemic shock and his organs shut down one by one, all that Evan felt was an overwhelming sense of shame and embarrassment for his own perceived weakness. As my brother laid on that field, unable to hear or see or speak or move, his team left him. His coaches left him. His trainers left him. By the grace of God, 2 pitchers stayed with him. By the grace of God, they carried him to the trainer, and he would have died on that field if those 2 pitchers hadn't stayed. The rest of it, the 7 nights in ICU, the kidney failure, the dialysis treatments, the blame put on Evan by his coaches in university, that's all a story for another day. It was hell, but we pulled through it as a family. And Evan slowly regained his health. He's not 100%, and maybe he won't ever be, but he's playing the sport he loves again, and I am just thankful that my twin brother is alive. But, dear NCAA, so many of the athletes that you are supposed to protect weren't so lucky. How many young men and women have lost the ability to live a normal life, or have lost their lives because you weren't watching over them like you promised? Because instead of stopping this extreme, insidious, disgusting culture, you permitted it. This is your dirty secret, NCAA, and you can't hide it any longer. On your website, it says that you are dedicated to the well-being and lifelong success of college athletes. But tell me, are you? In a recent lawsuit against the NCAA, you argued that you're just an association. It's not really your job to protect student athletes. You just say it is. But if you aren't going to protect them, then who is? Who is going to regulate these horrifying workouts? Who's going to advocate for Evan? Or all of the athletes who have died senseless deaths this year, like Tyrek Coger and Anthony Herbert and Derek Shealy. 1 year and 3 boys dead, probably more. And you permitted this culture. And for what? A starting position? These boys had to die. Dear NCAA, I'm imploring you to try harder, to be better, to uphold your mission and purpose for the sake of Evan and every other student athlete who needs you to be their voice and their advocate. No more college athletes should have to go through what my twin brother has gone through. No more student athletes can die a senseless death because of your negligence. This is a tragedy, and the fact that you could stop it but aren't is even more tragic. Thank you.